The movie opens on an unnamed professional assassin, Michael Fassbender, quietly stalking a target. He's holed up in a Parisian hotel room with a sniper rifle, keeping himself busy by eating a meal, doing yoga, and looping songs by the Smiths. Every detail is calculated. In voiceover we hear his cold rationalizations. He whispers his mantra, "Forbid empathy," and reminds himself that each kill is just a drop in a massive bucket of humanity. He is the picture of icy precision, convinced this is just business. At last, the moment comes. The target arrives at the opposite penthouse, accompanied by a dominatrix. The assassin lines up the shot, heart steady, and fires. But the bullet misses its mark. Horrified, he sees the innocent woman collapse under the impact. In a heartbeat, the mission has gone wrong. Alarmed, he scrambles out of the building, discarding his rifle and disguising himself in the chaos. He slips away through the Paris streets, knowing the police are on his tail, and hops a plane out of France. He flies to his secluded hideout in the Dominican Republic, what should have been sanctuary. Instead, he finds it ransacked. Books, clothes, and personal items are strewn everywhere. His girlfriend, Mabdallah Sophie Charlotte, is in a hospital bed, bruised and hooked to monitors. Mabdallah's brother, Marcus, stands by helplessly. Through sobs, he tells the assassin what happened. 2 attackers broke in and tortured her, but she managed to claw and run away. The sight of Mabdallah injured and in ICU shatters the killer's calm. He realizes immediately what this means. Whoever set him up has now hurt someone he loves. The hired cleanup crew has already passed through here and fled. Never in his career has a job turned so personal. He knows he could abandon everything. He has safe houses and foreign bank accounts ready if he chose to vanish, but he won't. Instead, cold rage kicks in. He vows to erase anyone involved with this attack. In this moment he breaks every rule he's ever had. He won't back down or improvise. He'll go after every person who crossed him. The killer begins the hunt. He first tracks down Leo, the Dominican taxi driver who took the assassins to his house. Leo recognizes the description immediately. One attacker was a monstrous man with a limp, nicknamed the Brute, the other a slim woman with short hair, the fearsome expert, sometimes called Q-tip. Without hesitation, the killer guns Leo down in the street. No loose ends. Each name revealed only stokes his resolve. Now armed with identities, he moves on. By dusk he's already on another plane, speeding toward New Orleans, knowing where to find Eddie Hodges, his old mentor turned handler. He needs to know who ordered the attack on his home. In New Orleans, the killer infiltrates Eddie's law office building in broad daylight. Disguised as a maintenance man, he slips inside and quickly throws the office into chaos. He surprises Dolores, Eddie's secretary, forcing her to pin down both Eddie and herself to a chair. He smashes electronics, phones, anything, so no one can call for help. Eddie pleads and stammers when he realizes who it is, but the killer is impatient. He turns a pneumatic nail gun on Eddie's chest, driving it through muscle and bone, demanding the names of those who hired him. Eddie is shocked, in agony, but he has no answer. Seconds later, the man who had been his teacher is dead. Dolores witnesses the aftermath and trembles in fear. She now knows too much. She begs for mercy, offering anything to stay alive. Desperate, Dolores proposes a grim deal. She'll give him the assassins' names if he agrees to make her death look like an accident, so her children will get the payout. The killer frowns. He had convinced himself he would never let anything slip into the personal, but here is a guilty old principle in action. He calmly agrees. They drive to her home. Inside the yellow-lit living room, Dolores shows him a manila folder with information on the Brute and the expert. He takes the file, then turns his attention to Dolores. With chilling tenderness, he fulfills the promise. As Dolores watches with tear-filled gratitude, he lifts a heavy neck brace and snaps her neck in a single motion. Then he gently pushes her body down the stairs, staging a fall just as she requested. Having learned the names, the killer heads to Florida. He finds the modest suburban home of the Brute, a hulking assassin known for never missing a shot. He creaks open a back door and slips inside, expecting a quick kill. But the Brute is waiting. The attacker lunges at the killer, and the house explodes into a savage brawl. Chairs crash and lamps shatter as the killer meets force with force. He is fast and precise. The Brute is raw strength. In one decisive moment, the killer jams a pistol to the Brute's head and pulls the trigger. The Brute drops dead on the spot. With grim finality, he launches the flame through the shattered window. Flames roar to life, consuming the house and the Brute's body. His trail leads to the northeast next, the home base of the expert. In Beacon, New York, the killer corners her at a gourmet restaurant late at night. Tilda Swinton's expert sits alone over a glass of whiskey, confident and calm. The two sit facing each other, assassin and assassin, and she raises a final toast. In hushed tones she taunts him about purpose and fate, probing why he does what he does. He says little. The tension hangs heavy between them. Then they leave together for a nearby park, walking under flickering streetlights. The expert suddenly pretends to slip on the icy sidewalk. Reflexively, the killer reaches to steady her. In that heartbeat hesitation, the expert flashes a hidden knife, but the killer's reflexes win. He draws his own pistol and fires, the predator dead by her own prey, and collapses to the ground. Finally, only the mastermind remains. Henderson Claiborne, Arliss Howard, a billionaire venture capitalist who placed the hit that set all this off. The killer flies to Chicago with purpose. He reflects on the irony. Cops will flood the city over this one, since the victim is rich. He disguises himself in a delivery uniform and orders tools and parts from Amazon to covertly break into Claiborne's penthouse. The skyscraper apartment is quiet. In the penthouse hallway he finds Claiborne. Claiborne pleads quickly. He had no personal vendetta. He explains in a shaky voice that he agreed to pay Hodges for the hit and to scrub the trail, not knowing exactly what that meant. The killer listens silently, face hidden. After a long moment, he makes a surprising choice. He does not kill Claiborne. Instead, he slowly lowers his rifle. In the quiet aftermath, Claiborne realizes he is alive. The killer finally speaks, a low, cold promise. Any attempt on his life in the future, Claiborne will get that slow, personal death he fears. With that warning delivered, the killer turns and walks away, leaving the trembling billionaire behind. With all threats eliminated or warned off, the killer makes his way back home. He returns to the Dominican Republic at dawn, returning to the place where this nightmare began. The war is over. For once, the assassin who called himself a ghost allows himself a touch of humanity, concern for the woman he loves. They sit together as the sun climbs higher, the tension finally ebbing.